people to say I'm misrepresenting the data or putting angles that aren't necessarily there. However, what have I always said? We want to look at all patterns. We want to look at all angles, look at all information. So without putting too much on, I'm not going to put 20 on 10, but just making sure we're actually looking at it in a very fair and reasonable way. You're going to be shocked by what? The fact that I found 31 overlaps. I found 31 overlaps. There were over 3,000, right, events that occurred yesterday. I was able to identify 173. I think that's a relatively good sample size, right? Out of what was accessible to me within a 24-hour period, what that could be verified, that was listed, right? Of 173 locations, I was able to identify that 31 of them had overlaps with memorandums of agreement, not an understanding saying we might work together, but memorandums of agreement. That's a handshake. We have a deal. What I will also tell you as another side note, but let's stick with this part. 21 of those, the actual no king protest was actually directly in the city that had the agreement. So let's say, for instance, the case study we used yesterday, if you watched that video, was Michigan. And I so happened to look up Taylor because someone sent me information about Taylor. The No King protest was in Taylor Police Department, which means that city physically had a memorandum of agreement. And it was established what? In 2025. Most of these overlaps actually had agreements that were established in 2025 or 2026, which is very interesting because some agreements go all the way back to like 2020, right? So with that being said, out of 173 locations analyzed, 31 had overlaps, which is roughly about 17.9%. Let's just go 18, right? We're looking at is literally 18%. We want to be technical, 17.9, right? But that's about 18%. When you think about rounding, that's like almost like 20% of what I was able to pull, which sounds a little bit larger than not, right? It's not like, oh my goodness, but it's something to make you go, right? 21 were directly that direct city. I told you I would do an expansion, and that expansion reached out to the county for which that city was associated. Because more than likely, if you're thinking about it from this perspective, if they're known for capture or detainment, right? All right, you made it to the end. What? I told you this was going to come with them receipts. The kids say, what? We ate. What? Because we was getting to these receipts. I know you saw that, right? Alignment. So, with that being said, if you like content like this, go ahead and like the video. That lets YouTube know that you like the content and you support it being sent out to other people so that we can make sure that this information is being accessible out in the community who it's designed for, right? If you're someone where you like, listen, I like to marinate. Listen, we do a lot of marinate no information here on this channel. That's not a problem. Stay along and stick with us. And once you're ready, go ahead, subscribe. Subscribe only when you're ready, right? If you're really excited about this content, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, and even share it to people who you feel like would also benefit from it. Once again, that lets YouTube know that you like this content. We do a lot of breakdowns on this channel. So I'm really hoping that you like this content and that you're finding something that you like. But also note, there may be other content, other mini-series, courses and things that are on this channel that you have not yet had an opportunity to explore. Go ahead on the page, look into that. We have lots of things happening here on this site. This is Legally Everywhere, where we're what, child? We're looking into everything. This has been a very unique experience, and I will see you in the next video because we want to do some more breakdowns. See you then. See you there next time.